Right, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation where a Korean beauty brand has called out another Korean beauty brand for copying their products/branding. Not only do we have the call out, but we also have the responses, and this has actually resulted in a lot of mixed opinions in the comment section. So let me know kind of what side of the fence you sit on. Is that a saying? I think it works. So like I said, there's two brands you need to be aware of here. The first one being Poom Cosmetics. As you can see by the bio, it says acne safe Korean beauty brand, showing you all the behind the scenes. And the second brand you need to be aware of is Glow, or Glow is here. And in the description it says, based in Seoul, Korea, skincare and makeup, Glow is good, Glow is here. Now Glow is actually the company that is calling out Poom Cosmetics for copying. And there's quite a few videos to get through here. So in this first video, this is kind of like the original call out, I guess, where Glow talks about the fact that a brand doesn't really name the brand, people kind of work it out eventually, but says there's a brand that has been copying their brand and explains why.
So there's this brand out there that's been copying our brand so bad, and it's so obvious that they're doing this because number one, they follow all our accounts. Number two, they use the same symbol as us. Number three, they use the same color palette as us. Number four, they're trying to promote as their main product a complexion product, just like our BB cream, along with the same sort of cloud sponge.
Okay, so as you heard, there's a few reasons why Glow believe that Poom Cosmetics are copying their brand. The first reason being that they're using the same symbol. I've took this as like the same type of logo and the same type of symbol on the logo. And if that is what she was referring to, we can actually take a look at the logos here, right? So this is Glow's logo. It says Glow with kind of like this little symbol on top. And then we can see on the Poom Cosmetics website, it's going to be a bit like bad quality because I have to zoom in. But either way, you can see the logo here and then a very similar type of symbol on it. It's not the exact same, but yeah, it does have a similar looking symbol. Now looking at the branding on their products, we can see this is Glow's products here. So this is the BB cream and concealer set. And then we can see an example of Poom Cosmetics products. So this is their Natural Glow Hydrating Foundation. And then of course there was the sponges that Glow mentioned. And I think this is the product that definitely looks the most similar, right? So we can see Glow's here, got the sponge, kind of got the Glow logo with this like stitched border, I guess you would call it. And then we can see Poom Cosmetics where, to be fair, it looks the exact same bar the logo. So I guess at this point it would be up to you to decide whether this product is unique enough to consider it being copied, or if there's other products that look very similar. Obviously these like makeup sponges, not exactly my forte. All I personally know of this is looking on Google Images and seeing that there is some other products that do look similar. I saw this one that particularly looked pretty similar, right? Maybe like different color logo. But what Glow goes on to say is that it's not the fact that it's just like one thing that could be copied, it's the fact that there's multiple.
Now, I'm not trying to say we were the inventors of this puff, but it's when multiple elements like this build up together that make it very obvious when a brand is copying you. And you know what? If you think this isn't enough, then look at this. That's them using our concealer to prop up their product. Like, what in the... Yes,
we also see this picture, right? It says, behind the scenes of our Korean beauty brand new product launch photo shoot. So this is an image, or I guess it was a video from Poom Cosmetics. And it was a behind the scenes of one of their shoots where they're showing one of their sponges. And then one of Glow's products is in the background. And it is one of Glow's products because Poom Cosmetics actually go on to say it is. And from what I've gathered here, the Glow product wasn't in the actual, like, advertisement that they were shooting here. It was just in this little behind the scenes video, but it was definitely there and it was being used to prop up the sponge for the shoot. Now Glow goes on to end this video by saying it would be different if they were this huge brand, but they're not.
To see them play the whole narrative of like a small brand trying very hard to make good complexion products, to have the lipstick lesbians call them out, it just, I mean, it's another thing if we were a huge brand ourselves that had millions and millions of dollars to promote this or make this go viral, whatever, but we're not. I really think it's sad when brands do this, and it's even more sad when the people that consume the brand don't know that they're basically ripping off other people.
Yeah, so as we saw, there was no brand that was actually mentioned in the video, but people quickly found out. And the main reason is because Glow made it pretty obvious in the comment section, right? Like there's this comment here that says, is it Poom because I once commented and said their brand was similar to Glow and they blocked me, to which Glow actually heard the comment. Now looking at the rest of the comments, there was already kind of like a bit of a mixed response, and the response only got more mixed as there was response videos, as we'll get to in a bit. But like for example, right, if we look at the comments here, there's one saying it better not be Poom because it isn't even copying, but then there's other comments that say the font too, I swear I thought Poom and Glow were working together because it was always weird to me. And then there's other other people said, no offense, but it just seems like this woman is upset that Poom got a shout out from the lipstick lesbians and they cannot handle it like an adult, so they use their Western fans who are obsessed with the brand to attack this one woman team. So as we read in that comment, they mentioned the lipstick lesbians, who actually have 1.1 million followers on TikTok, and they review like a bunch of beauty brands. And a couple of months ago, they posted this video reviewing Poom Cosmetics. Does that have any part to play in this? I'm not sure, but obviously it was mentioned in the video and it's mentioned in the comments too. Now this is where we get to Poom Cosmetics' response, and this is actually one of a few response videos that we have to look at here. So she starts off the video explaining why she made the brand.
I have seen the feedback and I do want to respond from my end. I understand that this is one video and I probably won't be able to cover everything perfectly, but I'll do my very best. I started Poom Cosmetics truly out of a personal pain point of mine. I have very acne prone skin, so I'm really sensitive to pore clogging ingredients. I wanted to create a makeup brand that had no pore clogging ingredients and was safe for skin like mine. When I first started product development, I wanted to launch with a cushion foundation line. Of course, it had to be acne safe, but also I wanted at least 6 shades. And
she then goes on to say that 6 shades isn't enough, but it was like a starting point for the brand. Then explains when she spoke to factories in Korea, they told her it was going to be really expensive, but then she was told it'd be more affordable to make foundation instead. And then goes on to explain the choice with the puff, says that the factory actually told her they should make the puff because they can't go down the cushion foundation route because again it would be too expensive, and says this was all before she knew who Glow was, but then was made aware of Glow.
I signed off on the formula and then the puff. While I was waiting for the production time and my products to be made, I then discovered all these amazing brands, and the brand that called me out for the similarities and the overlap, they're one of the brands that I discovered after I signed off on everything. I'm a fan of their brand. Like, I tried their concealer and it's a really good concealer. I gifted it to all of my friends. The overlap and all of that was not my intention at all, and by then it was already too late because I had signed off on everything. From where I am now, I can like look back and see all of the similarities and the overlaps. And even though they were completely unintentional on my end, I recognize that results are valued way more than intentions. Going forward, I am committed to making Poom more distinct from existing brands. My goal at the end of the day is to provide acne safe formulas. Of course, I want to like launch more products, intentionally differentiating our products from them. I just haven't been able to afford more product launches. Going forward, that is completely my intention. I probably missed the mark on so many things on this video, but I did want to release my statement.
So this wasn't the only response, and in fact an hour later, Poom Cosmetics uploaded another video kind of responding to the comment section on the previous video.
It's been an hour since I posted my last video explaining my side of the situation, and already in the comment section, I've learned a lot. On my end, I do want to apologize for all the ways that I handled it incorrectly. First one being, I should have addressed it sooner and not ignored the comments. At the time, I was building my business, so I didn't have the bandwidth to do both, like respond to that and then also do all of the logistics of building a business. It is just me right now in my business, and so I was like handling everything.
So what I believe she's referring to here is like the comments over time of maybe people calling out like the similarities, because she actually responded to Glow's video pretty quickly. The response was uploaded the next day, so what I believe she's referring to here, saying that she should have responded sooner, was like comments from people saying that they were similar. She then goes on to respond to the fact that one of Glow's products was actually in one of the behind the scenes videos and being used to prop up one of their products.
I do believe that the sooner you address things, the better, and I think I truly missed a mark on that by not addressing it, so that was my mistake. Secondly, I was so careless with the placement of the other brand's products in my own photo shoots. I did not intentionally put it there as a reference directly to that brand. I was being careless. From their perspective, I totally get why they were frustrated. They worked so hard to build their brand and the cult-like following that they have, and for somebody to just come in and be so careless about something like that is so offensive to a founder.
And then we actually hear a response to the similarities in the branding.
I do want to touch on some points of our branding. Our brand colors are like everything in this Pantone strip, pretty much 642 to 648. I was super thoughtful about the way that I designed our brand, and I do see the similarities. With my branding, it's so hard to change it all because all our assets have our branding on there. Our colors and everything have been picked out like very intentionally. Because the branding is finished, I can't really change the logo and all of the colors, just not realistic. But what I can do is our puff is so similar to theirs. It's a white puff with the logo. Theirs is a shade of blue and ours is a different shade of blue. Still so similar. Honestly, it is not worth the overlap and the confusion of it all. After I sell the stock that I have now of these puffs, I will not be ordering a separate batch. I know this is not the perfect solution to this situation, but I do hope that it will help alleviate the brand confusion.
Okay, so as we heard, the puff is going to be getting like discontinued or changed or whatever it is, so that is definitely the product that looked the most similar to me at least. Now in the final response that Poom Cosmetics uploaded before we get to Glow's most recent response, Poom Cosmetics actually goes on to respond to a comment and explains why one of Glow's products actually showed up in one of the behind the scenes.
The day that we were shooting photos for our puffs, I had the concealer in my bag. We needed to prop the puff up so that it wasn't just laying down. And the only thing in my bag that was small enough to hide behind the puff and also flat so that the puff could lean on it was that concealer. So I did use it to like prop it up, and I still am an avid user of that concealer, but I carelessly allowed that concealer to be shown in a behind the scenes video that I took of the photo shoot, and that was truly so disrespectful and careless on my end. If the roles were reversed, I would be just as equally frustrated, because something like that should never be taken lightly. I should have, even if it was peeping out a little, I should not have put it in our content anywhere.
Now looking at the comment section on Poom Cosmetics response videos, it's still a bit mixed, but there's definitely more people that are on Poom Cosmetics' side, right? It's on their video. We will take a look at the comment section on Glow's newest response. But interestingly, I just saw this comment here that says, and honestly, I didn't like how the lipstick lesbians in the comment section applauding Glow for calling you out. Like, did you not get a product from this creator and reviewed it? Your job is to review products and use your expertise to help us understand about products, but then she had to come in between a conflict that she had no part of and no knowledge of what actually happened. Very disappointed. Her words can make or break a business. So yeah, as we can see in this comment, they mentioned the fact that lipstick lesbians actually commented on Glow's video calling out Poom Cosmetics basically. Now obviously we just spoke about how the lipstick lesbians actually reviewed Poom Cosmetics product and liked it, and maybe that was like part of the situation. That's what people are saying at least, right? I don't know if it was. But yeah, I mean, going back to Glow's video, we can actually see the comment here from the lipstick lesbians that says, "Oh my god, Glow Queens, thank you for calling this out. We had no idea. Just purchased some Glow for review and can't wait to try. Stay tuned." To which Glow responded saying, "We appreciate this so much, Alexis and Christina. Thank you for taking your time to leave this comment." So yeah, they did end up leaving that comment, and by the looks of it, clearly do believe that Poom Cosmetics are actually copying Glow. Now looking at the rest of the comments on Poom Cosmetics response videos, there's ones like this saying, "Honestly, I'd never heard of either brand until this issue. Glow just feels angry, unprofessional, and honestly childish, while Poom is just trying to apologize for the things that just organically happen when starting a company. It put me fully off Glow, not that I could use their shades anywhere." There's actually a lot of comments in this video from people just simply saying stuff like this, saying their video seems so unprofessional, and also a lot of people talking specifically about the puffs, right? So there's this comment saying, "The puff is the dumbest aspect of this issue, lol. Like, I have so many of these from Philly Millie, Wake Make, and like another brand I can't remember. There was a time when Philly Millie was the only brand that made puffs like this." So now at this point, it brings us back to Glow's newest response. So this was actually uploaded 2 days ago as I'm recording this video, where she goes on to respond to the comments of people calling her unprofessional.
Hi guys, just wanted to drop in to explain a little bit more on our end. The biggest reason why I wanted to film this video was because a lot of people were saying that this is unprofessional. I definitely see what you guys mean by this, but I felt like there had to be some explaining. This may not change how people think, but Glow was found and made under the belief that a product can be both functional and aesthetic at the same time. As someone that's tried a lot of products both from the Korean and Western market, I feel like in order to compensate for the immense amount of marketing costs that these companies use, they compromise either or. So if the packaging is pretty, then the formulation's a little lacking, and if they invest a lot in the formulation, then the packaging kind of seems off. I figured, especially when we started 2 years ago, we won't have the funds to do those crazy marketing stunts anyway, so let's just invest in the product so that it markets itself.
So yeah, Glow goes on to mention how hard they've worked on their brand, the amount of effort that's been put into the brand, and says that that's a reason why it's so frustrating that the product has been mimicked. And interestingly, actually goes on to say that some Poom Cosmetics employees have like admitted that the products have been copied.
So it's really frustrating for me when I see efforts like that get mimicked. And I'm not, you know what, in this video, I'm not even talking about the brand I previously mentioned. There have been so many cases, and I can't expect you guys to empathize with each and every case, because throughout the time that this has happened, I haven't made videos, and I feel like that's what pent up all that frustration and energy. It isn't to a point where I'm just guessing. I've even had employees of the opponent company mention to one of our employees employees that, yeah, our company actually used your design to make our lip balm.
And then goes even further to say that some packaging companies have basically contacted them and said similar things. And then also goes on to respond to people saying, why don't you take legal action?
I've even had packaging companies that we work with come and say, this company specifically asked for Glow's layout. And most of the times we find out about these through external sources like influencers, UGC creators, followers that say, did you see this brand copying you? And just this sort of information kind of made us feel the urgency and the need to speak up about it in some way. And the most frustrating thing is a lot of you guys said, why don't you take legal action? But just the way the industry works, even in fashion, not just beauty, you can't really do much about that. Like there isn't much you can do, because even if like the slightest bit is different, then they could argue against that lawsuit. That's what happens with a lot of luxury designer clothing, even furniture designs. You see knockoff, cheaper versions. The original company can't really do much about it.
So then at this point in the video, Glow goes on to talk about like their future plans with the brand, some products that they're thinking about releasing in the future. Now looking at the comment section in this video, it really does start to feel like a lot more people are on the side of Poom Cosmetics. Like the top comment here says, can you address how you were being a mean girl and bullying a smaller brand? It's strained to incentivize your followers with your product line to attack Poom instead of holding them accountable. And why wasn't this discussed with them behind closed doors rather than on social media? Another comment here saying still no apology to Poom for the crash out and not even mentioning their name, lol. Like you can at least apologize for sending them so much hate. And yeah, a lot of the comments on this video are basically from people saying like this should have been handled behind the scenes, right, and not on TikTok. Like this one here saying, this could have all started with you reaching out to Poom first. It just seems very interesting that you post a video, yes, for your audience, and then all of those people go and attack the other company. You may not have told them directly to do so, but that's what happened. I get being frustrated, but it lacked professionalism. Now there is a final response from Poom Cosmetics. It's basically just some text on screen, so we'll actually take a read through now. Turning off my phone for an hour to pack orders. There's been a lot of misinformation circling around. The stories are growing in inaccurate proportions and it's actually breaking my heart a little. Everyone is of course entitled to their opinion, but please check facts before drawing huge conclusions and releasing statements. I know I probably didn't explain everything perfectly on my end, so I may be contributing to this. I'll learn and do better. Love you guys, thank you for all your feedback. I read them and I'm learning a lot. I really am committed to improvement for me and this beautiful brand. And then in the comment section goes on further to say, I want to clarify one thing that's been circling around that's absolutely broke my heart. I never asked a manufacturer or another brand's layout or formula. I also don't have any employees to do that type of work for me. It's just me working on my business right now, no one else. The biggest takeaway I got from this experience to put extra effort into being distinct. My efforts won't be perfect, but I will do my very best. So yeah, as we can see, they're basically denying the accusations that they asked employees to go out and like copy the brand and manufacturers for packaging and stuff that's very similar. Now with all that being said, now that we've seen both sides of the story, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below. Maybe whose side you're on, who do you think's in the right, who do you think's in the wrong, what do you agree with, what do you disagree with, just all your thoughts, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new, also if you're interested in some other content like gaming videos and van life vlogs and stuff like that, me and Emily have a channel that's always linked in the description, so if you want to check that out, like I said, the link's down below, and yeah, until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.